Hi, guys.
How's it going,
Woo!
Coach? Coach, congrats. Obviously, the great 2-0 start. What have you learned about your team that you didn't know before this season that you've learned so far through these first two games?
I think the four returnees that are the four that have really come in to defensively with a matchup. I think they've been phenomenal. So obviously that's Diamond Tay, Brittany Moss. Sorry, I got practice playing in my head right now. I think that they've really helped us defensively, and then we can just add, our newcomers in, and that's big. Instead of having to teach more than, you know, one person something, if you can get those, and then Destiny comes in, she knows it. Janaea comes in, she knows it. So it really helps that defensively, those four, I call them our rocks. Defensively. I mean, we've been winning both games because of defense. Period.
Coach, congratulations on the win last weekend.
Thanks, Steve.
I know as a coach, you want to get better. You want to see your team improve every practice and every game. Do you feel like you're a better team right now than you were when you played Virginia? And I know that was only a couple of weeks ago, but can you see tiny or small improvements?
Yeah, I think especially with the newcomers, but I think of Diamond and Tay in terms of scoring. I think that's phenomenal. And obviously, the keen eyes got to understand why they're getting some shots. We really have been forcing them to catch and shoot, where they normally want to catch and go. You know what I mean? And that's because they're doubling Brittany and Moss. I mean, both games, everybody keeps doubling all of our post players, even Desto. I mean, they just double them, and then so now we're getting some open looks. And obviously the first 4 minutes of the game, I got to see how I run a bunch of different sets to see how they're going to guard our on ball screens, how they're going to double, if they throw it into low post, are they double in, are they not double in? So I got to go through this whole scenario in the first 4 minutes of the game offensively to see how people are going to guard us. And I think Tay and Diamond have really stepped up in terms of catching and shooting and putting in numbers. Now every game's going to be different. People are going to guard us different. So, I don't know if all year long they're going to be doubling our post. Maybe they will. I don't know. But I'm just too proud of those two. And then just our transition and our steals and our tips and everything off of our matchup has been wonderful with Diamond and Tay. I mean, they get a lot off of that.
Your win against LSU is part of a great weekend for the league. South Florida beat Mississippi State. Houston beat Auburn. Do you feel as coaches in the league, I don't know if it's the proper word is a chip on the shoulder or something to prove, but it seems like everybody's kind of raised their game, raised their bar, if you will. Do you sense that from the league there? Because that was a huge statement you all made last weekend there against the Southeastern Conference.
As coaches, we've talked about a lot of things, and our concern is that people are going to look at our league differently. We don't look at our league differently and our coaches differently. I think everybody's really good, and we have some really good coaches in this league. And but I think our biggest concern was the nation, the NCAA committee, everybody else is going to look at our league differently because UConn left, and our team isn't different because UConn left. Our league is, and our teams are still the same. We're really good. I mean, but typically most people only watched us when we played UConn. I mean, a lot of people didn't watch USF and UCF games. They're hard in Houston and like Tulane and Cincinnati. I mean, those are we can beat a lot of people in any league. I mean, we just got to have the opportunity to do so.
Coach, you played two games, and your top two scorers in each game, they're all different players. It has to feel good as a coach knowing that you don't have to rely on one or two players. You have multiple players that can score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's new people. It's not just Brittany, and Moss. Now it's Diamond and Tay too, and our first game, Lish was 5 for 5, so that was awesome to see. And I think we're just going to keep getting better. I mean, we've only had 2 games. It seems like it's almost Christmas, and only 2 games is not a lot. So we've been able to practice more, which is good, and shoot more, and show them their shot selections and so it's been really good. We've been working on everybody's doubling Brittany and Moss, and so where you guys got to move one more passes, like just what offense we're going to run and how we're going to get Brittany and Moss the ball and where they need to kick to if they double. So we've had a lot of practice time that has really helped us.
Of course, Florida Gulf Coast, you're familiar with them. They have that unique offense where they shoot threes. They average over 40 threes a game, 10 makes. What's the keys what's it like to prepare for a team like that? And the fact that you played him last year, do you think that helps some of your veterans that got to see it up close? Because that's not something you see every game there, a team like that that just really shoots it from everywhere in the perimeter.
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness a lot of the teams in our conference do the same thing, Houston and USF. So that really helps that we play against that style a lot. He's a phenomenal coach. He does a great job, but they have a lot of new people. And so it's like us. I mean, they have to prepare for us too. We're completely different than everybody else they play, and they're completely different than everybody else out of season that we play, you know? So it kind of goes both ways, but they've played 5 games, we've played 2. That's the difference. And I think the biggest difference is their transition. Their transition is where they get a lot of their threes. And so obviously we've been really working on that.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Diamond's play? She was 1 point away from a double-double against LSU. Solid basketball. Talk a little bit about her, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's always had that confidence to do it, but she's such a great kid, and she's a pass first point guard, pass first two guard. So we have really been literally all summer long and all through this COVID stuff and all the time that we've spent with each other, a lot more than we probably normally would have, because we have games and coaches are gone recruiting and blah blah blah. Like it's been this a whole different year for everybody in the world, but let alone here, college basketball. We've been really talking about her catch and shoot and catch and shoot and catch and shoot. And you see in the Virginia game, she wanted to catch and drive a little bit more. And now this game, she got really good at catching and shooting, just catch and shoot. She's got a really good shot. She had a good shot in high school. She just really wanted to be a passer first, you know, but now her and Tay have become really good catch and shoot players because they're doubling Brittany Moss, and we've got them to the spots where they're open, and you know, all that stuff. People are backing off them a little bit. They should. Scouting report shows that they're drivers, right? So, but we've really spent a lot of time. If you stay and watch after practices, which you can't, but it's always Tay and Diamond shooting, always catching and shooting, catching and shooting, catching before practice, catch shooting. If you go to the game early, it's at those two out there catching and shooting, catching. I mean, they're doing all that stuff. So it's going to keep paying off for them.